Hey guys, ILene Vick here for Teaching Adult Coloring with ILene Vick. It is Monday, September 27th at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, and I am live. Welcome to everybody that can make it in tonight. Welcome to those of you who watch this broadcast after it goes to video on Facebook. And welcome to my YouTube viewers. All right. So glad to see everybody. Take it easy tonight. Get your coloring out. Sit back, relax. If you have the same image, color with me. If you don't have it, then work on whatever project you're working on. But bottom line, it's just so good to see everybody. All right. So don't forget, tomorrow night is our duet with Don Denise Boyer. You really don't want to miss that. We've always had a lot of fun with that. Dawn is the author of buku coloring books. She's got a new one in the works. Can't wait to see it. So that's exciting as well. So Dawn will be here tomorrow night, like I said. And we are happy about that. Okay. Hi, Rita. Rita from Guatemala. Hello, Ash. Good to see you, Ashley. All right. So let's see what kind of trouble we can get into tonight. Woo! And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the very last thing here. Hello, Rhonda. On my wreath, this is from the Rhapsody in the Forest. The background just came out, oh, just beautifully. Love it. Had a lot of fun doing it for you. So I'm going to do one more thing on this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some twine. And I'm going to add just a little bit of twine onto this page. I thought that that would make this interesting. Oh, Jenny watched last night's video. She was blown away. Oh, good. Did she say in particular what she liked about it, Rhonda? Okay, now for simplicity's sake, I'm going to go ahead and cut individual loops. Oh, Rita, she is a friend of Rhonda's. And she watches, they live in the same complex. And Rhonda has been showing Ginny, teaching her coloring. adult coloring. All right, let me grab my glue. Hello, Sandy. Always a pleasure to see ya. So this is my PVA glue. Wonderful, wonderful stuff. And I'm going to go ahead and put some pieces of twine. Zoom in. On top of the picture of the twine. Now, I thought that would look really cool. We don't have to do a lot of loops. We just want to do a representation of it. So we're going to keep it nice and simple. And this stuff is absolutely wonderful. Okay. It glues very quickly and it holds beautifully. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put about 3 loops on here. Sandy says she's got good news. Sandy, what's your news? Now I'm laying the loops flat. That way we don't have any twisting on here. Oh, you're a grandma for the first time. Your daughter had her baby last night. Oh, how neat is that? Grandma Sandy. Oh, Sandy, congratulations. Praise God. Oh, it came 10 days early. Oops. Okay, now we've got some just plain strings here on this piece. So I'm going to go ahead and mimic that as well. And put a little bit of glue on there. And bear with me here. But well worth the effort. Hello, Amy. Now, you don't have to match this string for string. because the stuff that I'm putting on is a little bulkier, and it's going to take up a little more room than the actual in the picture. Well, Amy, I'm glad you could make it. Now, I'm not too worried about the thickness of the glue because this stuff dries clear. It's really, really good glue. Grips beautifully. But what I do like to do is I will go ahead and I will take my toothpick. You guys know I always have toothpicks at the ready. Let me get a couple more out here so that I have them. Sandy, we are so happy for you. And what I want you to do, if you do something like this, I want you to layer. That's going to be the big thing on here. So I'm going to go ahead now, I've put down 2 bottom ties on here. I'm going to go ahead now and get my loops here. Get a little bigger here. Yeah, there we go. Does anybody else have some big news? Positive news, fun stuff. Whoop. Alright, so I'm just making different size loops now that we'll go ahead and put on here. Now, I don't know if you guys do arts and crafts on top of everything else. Oh, you've got to wait. So Sandy says that I have to wait until she comes home to see him because of COVID, only 1 visitor. Yeah. Have they named her? I'm sorry, boy or girl? If you said, you missed it. Girl. Boy, his name is Tucker Lee Hill. Okay, gotcha. What a neat name, Tucker. I like it. All right, guys, we got a very proud grandma here in the room. Oh, Amy says that her niece, I missed this, her niece got her first badge in Girl Scouts. Congratulations on that. My gosh, good stuff. And Sandy said that she FaceTimed to see the new baby. All right, to see Tucker. Isn't FaceTime wonderful? All sorts of neat things happening. Now, to add some visual interest to this, I'm going to allow this piece to twist. Oops. Hold on. There we go. And we've just got a piece that does not want to stay stuck. There we go. All right, everybody see how it's looking pretty cool. Well, I am so happy for you guys. That's great. Sounds like we've got some good positive things happening in the group. So now I gotta call Sandy Grandma. Hey, Grandma. Now, I pretty much knew from the beginning that I was going to go ahead and put this cord on this piece, and that's one of the reasons why I went ahead and colored the twine brown. Not to mention the fact that, of course, that's a neat color for this bow. It gives it a nice rustic look. And anything that shows through is already going to be brown. So we're in good shape with that. Oh, Sandy says the best news about it is that Tucker was born on mine and hubby's 34th anniversary yesterday. Happy anniversary. Oh my gosh. How neat is that? So Sandy, did you know that that was happening, or was it a surprise? Or, I mean, how did you find out about all that? What a neat anniversary gift. Okay, now, when you're doing something like this as well, right, but what I'm saying, Sandy, is did you know that her water broke? Or did you just like find out after the fact? Or how did you find out all this was happening? Was it a surprise? That's what I'm asking you. Okay, so let's get a couple more pieces here in. La-da-dum, la-da-da-dum. There we go. Wasn't expecting it. There you go. Surprise. So did they call you after the fact or while they were on the way to the hospital? In other words, when did you find out? Okay, so one more little piece here, I think. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some small pieces here. In other words, did you get a call after the fact or before? So I'm going to put my glue here in the center. Oops, a little more than what I needed, but that's okay. Oh, she went in Saturday night. Okay. Gotcha. All right, one more little dab of glue here. A little dab will do ya. All right. Now, this glue will dry completely clear. So I'm not worried about the white showing up. And you have a little bit of a chance to manipulate the center pieces. La-da-da. All right, let's take a look at this now. And of course, I've got to let this dry. Yeah, this background came out really well, actually. All right, zoom in. So let's take a quick look. Again, all this white will go away. And I'm just creating a little divot here between the pieces to make it look more corded. All right. Zoom out. Zoom out. And I'm calling this puppy done. Now, I'm leaving this long piece. I think that makes it look cool to have this like this. Remember, you want to go a little bit off of convention. I mean, I could have made this like really neat. I could have made the pieces exactly the proper length. I mean, I'll pull this down just a little bit. There we go. And that way it stays within the boundary. So what do you think of this? Da, 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 da. So get yourself some twine. It's inexpensive. This is the roll that I got, and I've used it for a bunch of stuff. You've seen me use this stuff before. I'm pretty sure I've got it on the affiliate list. Again, guys, please think outside the box. And again, I've talked to you about what story do you want your piece to tell. So I've got the blue. It looks very rustic. We've got the cord on it now to add to that. And my two questions are, number one, would you have thought of doing something like this? And number two, do you do you like the addition? Be playful with your pieces, guys. And I want you to notice that some of these tails, a couple of them I glued down. The other ones I didn't. And when I did the bows, I just glued down the center of the bows. So hopefully this is useful to you. Now, I sprayed this already, so I can go ahead and call this done. And I'm really not worried about the marker coming through because I've got so many layers. I've got the Krylon on there. I've got the colored pencil on there. So that one's done. So Rhonda says yes, but only because I've seen you do additions like that before. So yes, she would have thought of it. And yes, I would try it. Excellent. So there you go. This piece is done. Zoom out. And then the back side is this wreath, and I'm very, very happy with it. I hope you guys learned something and had fun watching me do it. Okay. So let me pull that. And I thought I'd do something a little bit different today. The question came up, Maddie was asking about snow. I believe it was Maddie. And I want to go ahead and continue to show you some things that I've done with it. This is from 50 Winter Miniatures by KAMELIYA and ANGELKOVA. ANGELKOVA. And this particular book was from Tanya Lightfoot. It was a gift to the group. I'm so grateful that I got this book. Let's see. Excuse my arm here. So this is a beautiful little book, and I went through it when I got it from the group, for the group. Cute, cute, cute little stuff. Oh, this is adorable. Just whimsical, really nice things. And she's done the 4 seasons. Isn't that cute with the 2 penguins and the light hanging from the icicles? Ah, just love it. So these ones you can get as involved as you want with it. Look at that. The mice hanging from the snowflakes. Oh, how pretty is that? It really, you know, it makes me want to color all of them, you know? All right. So 50 winter miniatures. She has done summer, fall, and spring as well. So it is a ridiculously cute book. All right. So I'm going to work on a couple of these today. And I had started this, not started it, but I was demonstrating how to color the light here to show the glow. And I also did a little bit with the glitter. And I thought that this would be a really good way to go ahead and show you how to continue to do snow. Let it snow, let it snow. So I'm going to pull a very, very light blue. And I happen to have one. This is called Morning Mist. And this is, I don't know. Oh, breath funner, excuse me. Hi, Rebecca. Zoom in. Zoom in. So on this particular one here, we're coloring this a very, very light blue. Let me look at something here. And this is so light, I'm not even sure. I hope you can see it. Zoom in. Zoom in. It's a really, really nice light blue color. And it's just enough here where we want to go around. And I'm going to, anything that's overlapped, like this little holly thingy, we'll go ahead and put just a little bit of a shadow on there, this blue. Now, depending on your paper, you can leave the balance of it white. You don't have to necessarily go through. No, this is not the, oh, I lied. It's the 520 set. Sorry. Yes, Sandy, I'm sorry. Rebecca says I won't be able to drop in tomorrow night. Oh, my husband got us tickets to the Cardinals game. Oh. Well, okay, be like that. Blow us off for a baseball game. Oh my. Okay, so when I did this, I put the light on the, I made that little rim of light color. So I don't want to go through and put any blue on top of that yellow, because what? Yellow and blue, what? We'd get a wonky color. So I'm just going to run this blue on the outside edge. And you'll see how this makes a difference here. So it's looking pretty cool. All right, so now we'll go up to, let's see here, we got in between the coat. And we've got our shoulder here. Rebecca says, I'm a massive sports fan. I love our coloring fam, but live baseball isn't something I can pass up. No kidding. Especially when we go to video, so you can catch up. Oh, love you, Rebecca. Okay, so light blue around the outside of our face here. Now, if you have paper that's not white enough, you're going to have to color in your white. You can use your ivory 103 from Faber-Castell if you want. Up to you how you want to handle that. Got just a little bit of blue up here. Now, as I keep telling you, it looks like the color isn't exactly going in there, but trust me, it is. All of this is going to come together in a moment. And I'm going ahead and I'm using my blue to outline the hair. Zoom out. Okay, let's see if you can, yeah, it's there. All right, so now let's go ahead and outline him. And see, now that I'm adding this color, you can see the difference. And the thing is, guys, is once your eye identifies the color, then you'll see it in all the places that I end up putting it. Now, we've talked about snow before. Maddie is playing around with some alternatives on snow as well. And if you guys try a different method and come up with it, please post it. Hello, Angela. Now, when you color something like this, don't ever assume, like I said, that that color isn't going down. So you need to go with your repetitive strokes to keep it nice and smooth. Yeah, you can pick a different blue. I've used different blues. I just happen to be using this one, the Morning Mist. Okay, so this is a sleeve. All right, so we've got a hand here. Yeah, Sandy, I don't want you to get hung up on just specific colors that I use. You can use shades of that color. That's where your creativity comes in. It's your piece, and you can do with it what you want. For example, instead of making these hands that are snow, didn't want to pick too dark of a blue. Okay, sure. You can always use a varying color of what I'm showing you. And the blue that you want to pick is just very, very light. Remember when I did the sailor kissing the young lady? It's called The Kiss. Do a search in the group on that, and you'll see how I did the uniform with the blue. And that's a darker blue, actually, than this. Okay. Now, it looks a little wonky because only the faces and hands are done, but we'll get there. Okay, now we need to make a decision about our snowman here. He's got little ruffles on his wrist from what would be a jacket, but we don't know how far that jacket comes down. We might want to consider making it a full coat. Let's see the best way to handle this. Let's see, I can make that. Okay, we'll make his a full coat with buttons. So, oh, Rhonda says that she remembers that, the kiss, and how I did the blue with the sailor outfit, which was white. So for those of you that are lurking, go up to the right-hand corner of the group where the magnifying glass is and type in the word "the kiss" or just "kiss," and that'll come up and you'll see how I did it. Okay, I know how I'm going to fix this. Here we go. And this will be a good teaching exercise. So, do you guys see the problem? He's got a coat on up here, but we don't know what's going on down here. Now, with her, it ended midway. But the author didn't specify on this one how far this goes down. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make my own on the bottom. And I'm going to do it in pencil. So he's going to have on a longer coat than what she does. Now remember, when you do it in pencil, you've got to do it very, very lightly. And then when you go to ink this in pen, you need to choose a pen weight that matches the rest of it. So, we've got his coat longer. And I'm going to go ahead and bring this up so it goes all the way around. Now, if you don't go exactly on your pencil, that's fine. The point is that you want to be able to make changes if you decide that you want to. Your pencil is just a rough. All right. So while that ink is drying, I'm going to go ahead and, well, I'm going to zip a little bit here off. Yeah, that's dry enough. And now what I'm going to do is make the bottom part of the snowman where the snow is. Trust me, guys, not hard. And then we have our little bit of shadow of that snow that's going to be right there on him. Alright, and let me go ahead and, yeah, for anybody that wants to find out how to do snow, the Kiss is the perfect, or not snow, but color white, because that was the sailor suit. And Sandy, that had darker blue on it. Alright. Now, I'm going to emulate what the author, yeah, please look it up, it'll help you. So I'm going to emulate what the author did on her coat. You can see these little loopy things. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on his as well. Because it's supposed to be, you know, the fur. And in fact, what I'm going to do on hers as well is I'm going to enhance hers a little bit. This gives us so much more character, it really does. And for those of you that say that you can't draw, this is not drawing, you're just emulating what the author did. I'm just making little U's. Zoom in. And you know when I draw something in, I always describe the shape. So you're just making little U's. Little smileys. Look at it that way. Oh, much better. And I'm going to go ahead and do his little puffy as well. You can do some little frownies on that too for the circular look. Okay. Zoom out. Zoom out. Zoom out. So let's take a look what we've done so far on this. Anybody have any questions, comments? La, da, 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 da. Alrighty. Let me grab something here. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of my glitter glue, and actually I'm going to, give me a second here. I'm actually going to pull something different. This is my iridescent stickles. And the reason that I'm getting this one is because it's got a very, very thin application nozzle. See how tiny that is? The one on this one is a little bigger. And I want the more delicate look. So what I'm going to do now is everywhere that I've got snow is I'm going to go ahead and take my stickles and I'm going to put a very, very thin line of iridescent color. Zoom in. And that's going to add to the look of snow and the look that I want. Zoom in. Now, don't forget to do your little details. This is what makes your stuff look cool. Is we're going to go ahead and put a little bit in there. Okay. And then I'm going to put it on top here. You guys know that I'm really, really big about detail, and to add those cute little unexpected surprises on your pieces the people aren't going to expect to see. So everywhere that there is snow on the snowmen, I am adding this very thin line of glitter. And if you get a little crooked there, you can either wipe it off. Okay, I'll wipe it off. And I'll do it again. There we go. We're a little better there. And then I'm going to go ahead and do it along the bottom. And if you have a little bit of a skip, that's fine. That just adds to the piece. All right, let me pull up here. A little bit there. And a little bit right in between the poofy and the face. All right. Now, when I'm doing the hat here on our little fellow, you want to go ahead and follow the curves of the hat. It makes a difference, guys. Do your details. Now, I'm going to leave a little gap from my top line there and just come down. And then I'm going to go on his mitten, or I'm sorry, we decided that was his hand. You could make it a mitten if you want. Outline there just a little bit, couple dots here. Oh, how pretty this is turning out. And then I'm going to go along the bottom where I drew in the ruffle. There we go. And then I'm just going to add just a few little U's by the bottom. Oh, how pretty is that? Zoom out. Zoom out. All right, everybody see Debbie. Hi, Debbie. Oh my gosh. Where have you been, girl? So that was my stickles. Good to see you. And this is I could have used this, but I wanted like I said, I wanted the finer application. Now, just to let you know, you can buy Been Home in a Depression. Oh, Debbie, I'm sorry. All the more reason to get in here. Even if you just watch. So Rhonda says, that's funny, ILene. I just brought my clear stickles to Ginny today. Showed her how to use them in the middle of rosettes on the pick for the little great-granddaughter room. Oh, yeah. She loved the idea. I know you are, Debbie. Debbie, I'm delighted to see you. You've got family here, remember. Started doing a little coloring again. Excellent. Okay. Gosh, Debbie, it's good to see you. Zoom out. Okay, everybody see how cool that's looking. Yeah, bipolar is hard. I know. I get it. All right, anybody have any questions or comments about what I'm doing? Now, oh, Debbie, I'm just glad to see you. I really am. So has this opened up any doors for people with ideas? All right, let's go ahead and color up our snowmen. Now, the trick is, if I don't get my hands into this, we'll be in good shape. So I've got to pick some places here. Been off my meds, so need to get back on track, but I love your videos. Debbie, please, please, please don't stop taking your meds. I'm just so glad that you're back in here, Deb. All right, so let's go ahead and color up some of these pieces. I've got a Fila 009 green. Zoom in. Zoom in. Zoom in. Well, Debbie, you always have a safe place to go when you come in here. Come on, Debbie, you know that I'm wonky. Hopefully it would make you laugh once. I make you laugh once in a while. I mean, really, what's your day without hearing my voice, right? All right. Maybe they should bottle me for people that have depression, right? Take one of ILene every day. Well, Debbie, can you, yeah? Angela's got bipolar. Angela says, yes, ILene Vick, you're good medicine. Okay. Okay, check out how cool this green is looking. Angela, why don't you PM Debbie? That way she'll have the contact to you. Amy said, my roommate and I finally got to take my niece to her volunteer job at the cat sanctuary on Saturday. She loved it. Already wants to take 5 cats home. Oh yeah, that would be me. She wants to go back again. Excellent. Yeah, Angela, don't put it on Debbie to contact you. You know how that goes with depression, right? So Angela and Debbie, can you both stay a while tonight? Okay, see how beautiful that green is looking? I want a nice bright green with that holly. Now, I'm going to use, so Debbie can stay tonight. Angela, can you stay with us tonight? Oh, Debbie, I'm just glad to see you again. Okay, so I'm taking my ivory and I'm blending. That's my Faber-Castell 103. that I now have a dozen of. Okay, and now I'm going to take an emerald green Faber-Castell 163. Nope, I'm not going to use that one. Too light. Sorry. My bad. My bad. Yeah, that's the problem with depression, is you get into a funk and then you don't want to reach out to anybody, and that's the very wrong thing to do. Okay, I have a botanical garden. This is my Brett Funner 520 set. Debbie, will you do me a favor and start taking your medication and stay on it? Zoom in. So I'm going to go ahead and use this green now, this darker green on top of my lighter green, which I think looks really cool. Debbie, you don't want to miss any more of my broadcasts and our live broadcasts, do you? You know that we believe in equal opportunity abuse. Oh my. Debbie, if you don't show up, how can we pick on you, right? Okay, now that green looks awful, right? What's wrong with it? Not blended. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my blender pencil and I'm going to start smoothing this out. So Debbie, when was the last time you took your medication? Okay, everybody see how good that looks now. I've blended it with my pencil. So Debbie says, I told Kevin I was going to be talking to you tonight, and he was so happy to hear that. How is Kevin? You introduced us last time you were here, and now I'm going to take my Faber-Castell 103 Ivory, and I'm going to blend right over the top of that, well, color right over the top of it. And check out how cool that looks. See, Debbie, you introduced me to Kevin, and then you went away, right? So Angela says, ILene Vick, I have a volunteer job. Prayerfully staying next week. It's starting next week. It's working in our town historical center. Ooh, that's what you wanted to do. Doing indexing, which is a part of genealogy, and that's my third hobby and passion. Oh, Angela, that's wonderful. Okay, everybody see now how smooth that leaf is? Smooth as a baby's behind. or new baby, as some people who are new grandmas know. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my botanical garden. Now, you know how I always tell you not to make everything look like it's duplicated. So we want the second leaf to be similar. I'll bet you are thrilled, and I remembered before you told me that this is a passion of yours, Angela. So I'm coloring this just a little bit differently, adding a little more lighter green in between the veins. And because I was lighter with it, I'm going to go right into my ivory Faber-Castell 103 and use that to smooth it out. Isn't that pretty? Zoom out. Hello, Kathy. Debbie said she's been off her meds for about 10 months. My moods are so up and down I can't control. Debbie, you've got to take your meds. There's just bottom line. Debbie, how can we enjoy your company if you aren't taking your meds? Hello, Kathy. And guys, anybody else that's dealing with depression, we talk about stuff like this, please, please, please take your medications. Zoom out. Well, Debbie, I know you know, but you're not doing it. Right? Guys, we want you here. Anybody that's dealing with your depression issues, please. Okay, everybody see how beautiful that green is. Now look, it doesn't matter how simplistic your picture is. Zoom out. Zoom out. You can really make a neat piece out of it. And that's what I'm doing with the glow of this jug. And I showed you how to color the candles when I first did this. Angela says I spent most of my young adult life in hospitals because of not taking my meds. Debbie, can Kevin help you take your medications each day? Guys, I love you all, and I really want to see you happy and able to come here, able to function. Okay. Questions, comments so far about what I'm doing? Hello, Melissa. Melissa, Melissa. So you can do rich colors with your stuff. Zoom in. Okay, you've been in the hospital once for a mental break. All right. How recent was that, sweetie? Okay. Let me pull off the sticker because a few years ago when your husband died. Yep. Very traumatic. And you remarried now? Kevin is your new husband? Or second husband, I should say? Okay, I'm using a Faber-Castell 223. And I'm using a Brett Funner 072 because I want you to see what I'm doing on these berries. Zoom in. Zoom in. Okay, so you and Kevin have been married 24 years, right? Okay, I'm using my lighter red on these berries. Now, remember I tell you, you want to come in relatively lightly, right? We're going to tint our colors in. So that we can make adjustments as we need on our coloring. Okay. So you were married to your husband for 24 years, and you and Kevin have been together 3 years now. Okay. Cool beans. Zoom in. Okay, we've got a really speckly look on here. So I'm going to take my blender pencil and I'm going to blend those because I want that to be smooth as a new grandson's baby behind. And then I'm going to take my Brett Funner 072. Now this is not part of my 50 or 152 set. And I'm going to shade in the red. Now, sometimes you get a little crumbly, you can see that. So you say that Kevin is very supportive and you don't know what you'd do without him. Okay. Well, Debbie, you got to be there for Kevin, right? And the only way that you can be there for Kevin is to take your meds. Just like you need him, he needs you, sweetie. Okay, everybody see now how this color is coming up nice and rich. A little speckly. That's okay. Sometimes pencils don't play with each other. I don't mind the speckly on this. And sometimes what I'll do is I'll just go ahead and gently scrape that off with my nail. That just means a couple of your brands aren't playing well with each other. And like I said, that's okay. Don't let it throw you. Zoom out. Zoom out. So that's a little tip for you. Don't let that kind of thing throw you. Now, I'm going to take black. And I'm going to do just a little bit of highlighting in between my berries. Right? And that's going to give them lots of depth. There you go. Isn't that beautiful? Zoom out. Look how rich those berries look, guys. All right, so let's go ahead. Let's see. Yeah, my glitter's pretty dry now. Zoom in. Zoom in. Zoom in. So back with my original red. Now, you can correct speckles a couple of ways. Rather than use the blender pencil, I'm going ahead and I'm changing direction with my original red color. And we talked about that on the other piece that I was doing for you. And the thing is, when people color, they tend to get into stroke habits. So you've got to change your directions. So now I'm going to go ahead and come in with my darker color. And I want you to notice how I'm shading towards the inside of the berry, right? And I also want you to notice that because I added more of the initial red to give myself that base, my second color that I'm putting on top is not making all those speckles, that wax buildup. And that's because you've given it a surface to glom onto. All right. Now, I like to keep my areas clean. And then I'm going to use my black, right? And right where these three come together, I'm going to go ahead and darken this. Anybody have any questions about that? There you go. Zoom out. Zoom out. Oh, Ashley recognizes. That's right. 50 winter miniatures. Ashley's on the ball tonight. Everybody see how great now those berries look. Zoom in. Zoom in. Zoom in. And then you can just come back and fill in any areas that you have any light spots, which I do right next to my line. So we'll fix that. All right. Zoom in. Zoom in. Good night, Miss Rebecca. Debbie, you still with us? Okay, so I've got my initial berry color on here. Looking very rough and popcorny. These are Faber-Castell pencils, and they're a little bit harder than my Prismacolor. And that's why you have that happening. You just have to adjust to whatever pencil brand you're using. If I were using Star Joys, I probably wouldn't be, being as popcorny, because those are very soft pencils. Okay, so let's go ahead and get these darker colors in. Again, I'm changing direction, making sure I'm getting all those holes filled in. That way I don't have to use my blender pencil. Oh, Angela says, I'm listening to Christmas music and coloring Christmas pictures. How cool is that? Ooh, that's an idea. So do my bird sounds complement your Christmas music, Angela? Okay, so notice I'm getting my nice rich color here. Filling in all my areas. Changing direction on my pencils. They tend to be a little more resistant to filling in on the paper. And then I'm going to use my darker color. Not really, but it's funny listening to both. Oh well. So here's my Brett Funner 0.72 on my edges to give me my depth. You guys remember I've been teaching you to do the backwards C to make your things look dimensional? That's what this is. I'm coloring in with the darker color, and I'm making, actually it's a forward C tonight. See that? And I have no problem with rubbing those with my finger. You know me. Oop, let me pull out my eraser a little more. Alright, and now I've got my black, and I'm just going to color in that intersection. See it? You don't have to put a lot in. Remember, a little bit of black goes a long way, right? And then I'll quickly do this part here. So I'm doing the C from the left-hand side. You get more in the center here. Remember, anytime you make that darker border around something, that's where you have things that start looking round. Right? And then I'm going to use my black. Zoom out. Zoom out. And I want you to see now how dimensional these things are. Zoom out. A very simple picture, but oh my gosh, guys, look at the depth now that we have on that. Okay, let's do the leaves around here since I'm working on them. Now, I'm deliberately going to use a different green than I used on my holly leaves. And I'm specifically, I'm going to use a darker green. Now, I don't know about you, but I have a boatload of green. I don't know what it is, why the pencil manufacturers think that they need to load us down with that, but I am swimming in green pencils. So what I always suggest is that when you're doing something one set of green, then do your other leaves a different green. Like I said, I've got green coming out of my ears, so it's not an issue for me. All right. Zoom in. Zoom in. Zoom in. So I've got my paper towel down now. I'm on top of my glitter, which is dry, but I just want to be really careful about dragging my paper towel over my glitter, even though it is dry. Now, to me, oh, thank you, Ashley. To me, these green leaves should be darker than the holly leaves. That's just my taste. So that's why I'm using this darker green on this. Notice how I've got the ragged edge, and now I'm going to take the Fila 009 and blend it. Debbie said, I thought I had this book, but I guess I only have the summer miniatures and her summertime mandalas. Okay. Yeah, Pearl says, and I need more green. Guess I should have gotten the 520. It's all right. Yeah, I'm not into mandalas at all. And I hate to tell you this, guys, but I'm not going to be coloring them on live. Okay, now, zoom in. I want you to watch now how this is going to blend beautifully. And make sure that the line of your darker green is blurred with your color so that you have a really neat looking piece. Now I wanted to start out on a larger, yeah, Ashley says I have a hard time with the repetitive patterns. They don't keep my interest long. Same here. That's exactly my problem. Okay, now I want you to notice how I'm changing how this green comes together. I'm changing that up a little bit. But I also want you to keep in mind too that I'm curving this white area. And now when I go in with my lighter green, that's going to look pretty cool. Okay, so I've got rich greens on this piece. Now, sometimes what I'll do is I'm going to take my lighter green, if you want to be careful of your curve, is I'm going to take my center color here and I'm just going to draw a little curve. See that? And that's going to help me line up my green here. And make sure that I get that bend that I want. So there's a little tip for you there. And there we go on the next green. Blending, blending, blending. Ashley says, makes me want to dig out my book. Well, come on, Ashley, what's wrong with you? Oh. All right. So now when we come up to this little guy here, we're only going to have a teeny tiny bit of green show, right? Because it's covered by the sleeve. And I want you to think about things like this, guys. So I'm just going to have a little bit of green here, darker green. Good night, Miss Pearl. So glad you were here. See you tomorrow night. Excuse me. All right. Everybody see now how we've got that partial green? And when you look into detail like that and take care of detail like that, oh my gosh, guys, what a difference. If you want people to admire your pieces, this is the kind of stuff you need to think about. Okay, now this piece here is coming up and out, so our shine line is roughly there. And look how cool that looks. And again, guys, this all comes back to what? You're not racing. You're taking your time. If you race through something, you're going to get sloppy with it. All right, so and you're not going to blend properly. Do not race. All right. I mean, Rhonda, when she did her piece with the kitchen, she knew her granddaughter's birthday was coming up, and she took her time, and you can tell. Okay. Zoom out. Let's take a look. Zoom out. Zoom out. Look how beautiful that looks, guys. And this is why I spend the time that I do, well, aside from the fact, too, that I'm teaching. And I want you guys to have a relaxing evening when you're watching my live broadcast. Let me turn this, zoom in, zoom in. I don't rush through the pieces either. Okay, so now we've got a curved piece here. Our highlight points probably is going to be about there. And remember, as you get towards the center, you want to be lightening the pressure on your pencil, because you've got that edge to blend away. Oh, how pretty. You'll get it. Okay, now we have a very sharp bend right here. And I've got a bend about here. Oops, wrong way. Oopsie. And if you want to color in your bends, just to give you a roadmap of where you need to be, that's fine. Guys, it doesn't matter how you get there. It really doesn't, per se. I mean, obviously you want to use this light dark coloring, but if you want to draw your center first, to have it be a little more rounded, and you need that guiding line, cool. That'll work. All right. Now we'll come in. And another reason that I do all of these pieces is I want to do the repetitive coloring for you, so that as you're watching me, you are mentally saying, okay, I do this, then I do this, then I do this. Okay, so here's our shine point right here. Make it a little higher even if we want. I'm going to curve that little puppy. So I'm just showing you an alternate way to put in that lighter segment. So more pressure now towards the, the base, and then I'm getting lighter with my pressure as I come out. And then we're going to blend it, right? Look how pretty that looks. Okay. Alright, let's clean that. And what's the next color that I'm going to use after this on these plants? La-da-da-dum. Okay, so I'm going to guess that we've got a little green there. Okay, there we go. What's the next color? Ashley says she's digging for her book now. She just can't resist. So Ash, are you going to do this exact picture since I'm doing it? The question was, what's the next color that I'm going to use on these plants? Or leaves, I should say. La-da-da-dum. La-da-da-dum. And guys, I don't care how simplistic your picture is. Again, Ashley says, yes, I'm going to follow along. Tough one, white for highlighting or black for shadows. Give that lady a gold star. Alright, so there's my little gap. And there's my green. That looks a little messy. Okay. Just a few more and we are getting there. Melissa, did you find the answer to your question about which colored pencil sets have the most greens in them? And I would also suggest that you post that question in the group. Okay. I find that most pencil sets are overloaded with green. Anybody else have an opinion on that? Ba-da-dum, da-da-dum, da-da-dum. Okay, so we have our dark color there. Vicki, come here. Come here. Excuse me, guys. Vicki, come here. Are you chewing on something? No, you aren't. Okay, good girl. Get in your bed. Go on. Go. Get in your bed. In my experience, I have found that most pencil manufacturers load the greens. Let's see how many blues I have. Then after that, it's blues. Although I have a lot of purples too. But green just seems to be it. So Ashley, for giggles and laughs, are you going to follow me exactly on this piece? And thank you for saying hi to Vicki. Okay, how pretty is this? All right. So here's our highlight line. I'm just going to put that in very lightly. And then I'll put my green on here. Oh, how pretty. And I agree with you on reds, Kathy. That's my other complaint. Too many greens, not enough reds. And when I'm looking for a red, I mean, I am looking for a deep red. Okay, we're almost done with this. Oh, how pretty is this? All right, zoom out. zoom out, zoom out. Everybody see how vibrant these are? I don't know, the only thing that I can think of is the pencil company somehow, maybe they researched it and maybe people said that they don't like as many reds. I don't know. Okay. Now we do a little magic. Zoom in, zoom in, zoom in, zoom in. Black pencil. Very, very lightly. I mean, I'm talking butterfly kisses here. So Ashley says, my honest suggestion is if you have the opportunity at Hobby Lobby or anywhere, buy a Tuscan Red, Scarlet Red, and Poppy Red Prismacolor. Best combo ever, works with other pencils. Cool. Ashley, do me a favor. Put a post in the group and just say we were discussing red pencils, red colors in tonight's live coloring with ILene Vick, and the lack of them, and here are some suggestions. Just copy and paste what you said in the group in this chat. But just put that little introduction in there saying we were discussing red pencils and lack of them. Okay. Touch of the black, guys. Not much at all. You would hardly think it wasn't, you know, worth the effort, but trust me, it is. Because that black, well, we are a teaching group and that's going to help somebody. Just be sure that you explain where the discussion came up so people have a reference. Okay, here we go. Don't get crazy with the black, guys. You are tinting with your black. Let your black do the work. And it's that little extra touch here that we're doing that's going to make the difference. Ashley says those are the only true reds I have found so far. I know everyone isn't a fan of Prisma, which makes an open stock a nice option if you just want the reds. Yeah, I gotcha. Now notice too that when I color in the black, I'm even coming down, I did this before, but you can do it again. I'm coming down in between my little berries. And just be sure that your black is so subtle that it looks to be part of your plant. Zoom out. And put a little black in here as well. There we go. Look at how rich that is, guys. See it? Questions or comments on that? Zoom out. Oh, you're welcome, Kathy. Kathy says, I never thought of a touch of black till I learned this from you. I love how it adds that extra detail. Yep. Thank you. You're welcome. Just be sure that when you add it, you don't create a stripe. Now, let's go ahead and do the same thing. Zoom in. Zoom in. Now, you've got a lighter green here, and this is where you've got to really be careful with your black. And again, guys, I am barely touching the paper. So I'll edge up the berry a little bit. Okay, see how I'm drawing on top of that? And then come out just a little bit. Now, look at the difference between here and here. You see it? And this is where your coloring is going to go up to the next level. When you start adding things like that. And don't get stupid about it, adding too much black. You only need a little bit, and then I'm going to blend that in. All right, everybody see the difference. Zoom out. You'll see it when I zoom out. Zoom out. Zoom out. There you go. Big difference. Okay. So what color do you want me to make the coats on either of the snowmen. Snowman and Snow Lady. Oh, Ashley, thank you. I love learning live, she says. I'm thinking of a purple umbrella. I think that would be cool. I'll tell you what, I'm going to pop up to the umbrella because that will make a difference on what we decide on coloring the snowmen themselves. So let's go ahead and get some nice purples here. And don't forget that your purples are blue based and are red based. So you want to be careful about mixing them. Let me show you this. See it right here? This is blue based and this is red based. So if you choose a blue based purple, oh, that's blue too. You want to make sure that they work together. All right. Yeah, royal blue maybe would work on the outfits. Let me go ahead and play around with the umbrella a little bit. So I'm going to use a Sivo Vivid, which is a very inexpensive pencil. And my discussion with you guys is it doesn't matter what your pencils cost, you can make them work. Zoom in. Zoom in. Zoom in. There we go. Zoom in. Now, don't forget to get rid of that popcorn. Hi, Wanda. And what I want you to notice is I'm coloring a slightly darker tint of my purple up on the top, and then I'm getting lighter and lighter as I come down. And I don't want you to forget that you can tint with your first color. Okay, Ashley says, oh, ILene, Castle Arts fight me. I want to love them. But getting them to blend to my satisfaction just isn't happening. Okay. if I mix brands, they're okay. Yeah, and that's the way to overcome some of that blending issue, is to mix the brands. Hello, Wanda. Now, these Sevo Vivids, shush, Wanda, you're not supposed to say the S word in here? Okay. Yeah, sorry. That's right. Good to see you, Wanda. Okay, now notice I'm going a little bit lighter with my purple underneath the umbrella. And also notice, with this being my Sevo Vivid, that I'm getting a lot more popcorn. And the way you get rid of that is to either continue coloring with the strokes of your pencil or blending it. And given this that I want a lighter purple, I'll just go ahead and blend it. Now, I could have very well pulled a different purple pencil to do underneath here. And that's fine either way. And one other method of coloring, which I've always talked to you about, is just go ahead and do little teeny tiny circles. So Wanda says, it seems I have to add graphic artists to my short list. I just didn't want my boss to have to pay to have it done when I could do it for him. I guess there's an advantage to having a friend for an employee. So he's not paying you for your time? Okay. Okay, so a little bit darker on the top. Oh, so no, I wouldn't ask. He is like one of my kids to me. He has helped me big before. Oh, okay. So Kathy says at work I used to say sorry all the time. One of my managers made a sorry jar, and every time I would say sorry, I put a quarter, hold on, in the jar, and he and my co-workers did the same. At the end of the year, the money went to adopt a family for the holidays. How cool is that? What a neat idea. Okay, so we've got a big area to color here. Now, again, Wanda says, yeah, we would have to use a square jar. My boss would go broke. Now, when you're coloring a big area like this, guys, watch your lines. So, darker purple in the corners. So, are you guys excited about tomorrow night with Dawn coming in? Don't forget that's tomorrow, guys. Winter Miniatures, KAMELIYA, ANGELKOVA. Yeah. That's the book. Okay. So I'm going ahead and I'm already darkening some of my corners. All right. Zoom out. Let's take a look at this. So, very rough, inexpensive pencil. So I'm going to go ahead and do a really quick blend on this, because we want that nice and smooth. And I'll remind you, when you blend, you don't want to use that sharp point of the front. you want to go ahead and use the side of your pencil. Okay. Now, this book was sent to us by Tanya Lightfoot. Okay, so notice how now I'm shading this. I'm sorry, blending it, and how the shading on it is already starting to come out. Now remember, when you blend your pencil in, you're messing with the tooth of your paper. And that's one of the reasons why you want to do your blending as lightly as possible. You do not have to dig your blender pencil into the paper. So I nicely say, knock it off. Okay. Zoom out. Good night, Melissa. I'm on for 20 more minutes. Okay. Bread Funner, Blue Iris. This is the 520 set. Look how smooth and beautiful that umbrella looks. Isn't that pretty? Yeah, I'm not, by no means am I done with the underside. Okay, zoom in. So now what I'm going to do is I'm adding my blue iris. And I'm working the edges of the umbrella. Now this blue is going to look really good with this purple. And what I'm doing is I'm going along this edge. And then I'm coming in just a little bit very, very lightly Yeah, I'm not thrilled with Castle Arts, actually. That's the only brand of pencil that I wouldn't replace. How did I decide on the purple, considering that I have a bright green and red? Because we can get away with that with the umbrella, because umbrellas don't necessarily have to match. I could have gone with a black. But also keep in mind that I've got this blue snow. So that's going to start picking up the color, and I also have purple on my candles. Now notice that I'm also adding some parallel streaks on this, just a little bit. And I'm also going to darken my creases. Okay. And the other thing that I want you to notice as well is I'm taking this blue and I'm pulling it in and I'm curving it. Everybody see that? So let me go to my other side and do that as well, and then you'll see it. And again, guys, not pressing hard. Good night, Kathy. Notice my repeated strokes in the corner to darken the corners. And then I'm coming out curving on the main view of the umbrella panel. Thank you, I couldn't think of it. And actually, I didn't want to do that up here. Little boo-boo. Not bad. Got a little carried away there. I'm just coming back with my original color. There we go. So now you can see how I've got this blue iris, working with my purple. And how I'm meeting these colors in the center. And then I'm going to take my white Good night, Angela. Then I'm going to take my white and I'm going to go ahead and we're going to highlight that center. There we go. Good night, Pearlie. Slipped in, but now off to bed. Good night, Miss Pearl. I'm on for 15 more minutes. And then this is where I'm also going to take my white and we'll go ahead and lighten that up a little as well. There we go. And then I'm going to use my white also. And we'll go ahead and highlight some of our areas here as well. And then I'm going to finger smooth it. Okay, let me clean up a couple of the edges. Zoom out. And then any little other highlights that you want to touch up, you can go ahead and of course do that. Zoom in. Let's get you a little closer there. Now, one little trick too, and I don't know if I've talked about this very much, is that if you notice that your pencil is starting to build up wax and you're getting chunks on your paper, go over it with your Faber-Castell ivory, and it takes care of that right away. Okay, the wax helps, the oil-based helps with the wax-based issue. Thank you, Pearl. I'm glad you like it. Now, I want a very subtle color difference between the top and the underside. Got a little bit of over color right here. And I'm going to take my Faber-Castell 103, which is my ivory, zoom in, and I'm going to blend over the top of this. And it's just going to give me a nice light color underneath, what you would expect underneath an umbrella. And it is blending in and merging my colors beautifully. Now remember, this was my Civo Vivid that I put on here. And this ivory, oil-based, Faber-Castell, is merging my colors beautifully, so it's coming in very, very soft. Well, and I should say smooth. Hi, Rita. Yes, thank you. And again, guys, you know, you don't have to go with the purple on the umbrella. Totally, totally up to you, of course. Okay. Now, I've put my ivory on here, and now I'm going to show you the difference between it and the white. Is I'm going to come back underneath, and I'm going to take my white, and this is where I'm going to highlight a little bit. Now remember, this white is going on top of ivory. And this is where you're really going to see the difference, which is why I'm doing it. And notice that I'm working in the general direction of the umbrella with my white. And see how I'm making like a little triangle right here? So I come down here, come up, come down here, come over, come up. And then one more little touch on here, and then I'm going to call it an evening. No, I don't want to use that one. Is I'm going to use my Brett Funner. This is my 520 set Coastal Fjord. And I'm going to darken in now my line. And that is not the right color. I am so sorry, excuse me. My apologies. Let's try that again. Sorry. Oops. Let's see here. Sometimes that happens. You pick a color. And it's not the way you want it. One moment, please. All right, let's try that again. Arteza Expert color A109, which is my lavender. I'm concentrating on the line, and then I'm coming out just a little bit very lightly. And what that does is that will lead your line, lead your eye into the shadow, and that's what you want. Now when you're doing line work like this, be sure to turn your pencils, right? And then we'll shadow this up a little bit, so I'm going to come out. Blend with my finger. Guys, don't be adverse to finger blending. And then I'm going to pull this down here. Repeated strokes. And then I'm going to bring out that purple just a little bit. Now, if you have any question about the underside of an umbrella and some ideas for color, Google it. And the reason you want to bring out that color a little bit is that you want to create that shading effect. And by bringing out that color, that gives you that depth. Okay, zoom out, zoom out. I think we're doing okay. And then of course you can tweak. And play with your overall colors. All right, questions? I think we're in pretty good shape. Debbie, what do you think? Zoom in. I hope that this piece makes everybody smile. Hi, Dorothy. Now, I'm having a little problem. I can see it with the popcorn effect on the umbrella. And this is where I would take my ivory and fix that. This is where your ivory is really going to help you. Sometimes Civo Vivid doesn't play well with some of the other pencil brands. So this is where I'm taking my ivory and I'm just smoothing everything out and getting rid of any spots that I see. There you go. And that is really smoothing that out. Okay. Well, guys, I hope you learned something tonight. Zoom out. Zoom out. Zoom out. And this is, again, my wreath that I did. This is the twine that I added on that tie that was on the right-hand side. So that's dried, and as you can see, that glue is completely gone. I love that glue. And I want to remind you that you can make this piece look just as elegant as this by keeping your colors vivid and doing your little effects that I like to teach you guys. Okay, guys, joyous, joyous coloring. Love you guys. Debbie, so glad to see you. I love this little tie thing. And again, I didn't glue everything down, see? I left that unstuck. And so that's sitting right on top of there. I hope you like that effect. Something for you guys to think about. Okay, guys, love on each other. Debbie, I expect to see you more, right? Debbie, please come tomorrow night. That's when Don and I are going to be doing our duet coloring. Angela, if you're still here, good night. Love you guys. Take it easy, and I will see you tomorrow night, same time, same place. All right, guys. Bye.